TikTok is not just a social media platform, it's also a search engine. We all know that the For You page and TikTok algorithm is at the centerpiece of TikTok's value proposition. But TikTok has solidified itself as a powerful search engine for users, and according to an article made by the New York Times, 40% of Gen Z users prefer TikTok to Google when searching for something online. And TikTok has keyed into this fact too. They have literally started to brand themselves as a search engine. You can see in this ad right here that they literally use the tagline, "Search it with TikTok." And if you're an active user of TikTok, you've likely seen some of the related searches under video pop up. And when you click to the comment section, the search function is right at the top. So if users of TikTok are treating TikTok like a video search engine, and the TikTok team itself is treating TikTok like a search engine, we better start listening to them. And that means that it's time for you to have a TikTok SEO strategy. So today I'm gonna share with you guys how to use TikTok keywords to get more views on your videos. Let's get into it. All right, so first let's talk keyword research. Finding and incorporating strong keywords into your content make it more likely that your content will appear on Google, and the same is also true for TikTok. Now, for traditional keyword research, SEO specialists tend to use things like SEMrush to find out keyword traffic and competition, but unfortunately these tools are unable to scrape the data right now from TikTok, and currently there are not any TikTok specific SEO tools out there, so the best place to find TikTok keywords is TikTok itself. So before you even open TikTok, firstly you want to come up with the content topic that you're going to post about. So ask yourself, what is my video actually about? And then try to answer that question in one word or a short phrase. So for instance, maybe you are running the social media account for a small bookstore, and part of your marketing tactic for content is to make book recommendations, hoping that people will see the video and then come to your bookstore to check out the titles. So when asking the question, what is my video actually about, you could just say something like book rec or book recommendations. So now you have your primary keyword. This is your starting point, and once you have that, then go ahead and open up TikTok. Okay, so now just go ahead and open up TikTok and then go to the search function. You will see a little magnifying glass. Just click that when you're on your For You page. Then in the top search function, you'll want to start putting in your primary keyword that you came up with. So for us, that's going to be book rec. And then you will see that TikTok will fill in a bunch of other search terms that are related to the term you put in. Now you want to do is look these over and then write down any relevant keywords that relate to your video. And now you'll have a solid list of TikTok keywords to include in your video. Another way to find even more is you can click on one of these suggested keywords. So I might go with book recommendations 2023. And then you can scroll down a bit and then it says others searched for. And then from here you can drill down into even more niche keywords. So you can see here others searched for best fiction books for men, growth mindset books, best thriller books, fantasy book recommendations, and more. So you can collect these and then jot those down as well, and maybe they relate to your video in some way. While you probably could have come up with some of these keywords by yourself just by brainstorming, getting them from TikTok itself is just really helpful because you know what people are searching for. So if any of these are related to your topic, jot those down. These are important because the suggested topics that TikTok is giving you are going to be the ones that are searched the most, or are going to be popular and trending terms that are related to your original keyword. So this should mean more views for your video if you can implement them in your video in a variety of ways. Now it's time to include these keywords in your actual video. So there's a few ways you want to do this. Firstly, you probably want to include them in your speech. So when you're making your video, using a bunch of these keywords before you even start filming can be really helpful because TikTok can often scrape the transcripts of video, especially if you're adding things like auto captions in TikTok. And TikTok might register that these keywords are in the video and then be more likely to recommend your video once you post. So I might say, these are my book recommendations for 2023 for men who love fiction. Let's get into it. But what's probably even more important is adding it into text in a variety of different places. So when you're done with your video, what you're gonna wanna do is add text and then type in some of the keywords that you're looking for that you can place as sort of the title of the video. So I might say 10 fantasy book recommendations for men 2023. TikTok will pick up on what the text is in the video and likely take that into account for the algorithm. So if someone is searching for a term like this, your video is more likely to pop up. Also, adding primary keywords into a title like this makes your video more eye-catching for when your video does pop up under recommendations, because people will know exactly what your video is about right from the get-go. So obviously you can change the color to make it a little more eye-catching, etc. Secondly, what you can do is you can also actually hide more keywords in your video without putting them in the title. Here's what I mean by that. You can open up the text function and you can type in other keywords. So let's say horror, thriller, Rex. Then what you can do is you can shrink that down really small just by, moving your finger small. And then you can move that to the edge or corner of your video so it doesn't even really show up in the video itself. And then these keywords will now be added to your video without you actually having to put them on the screen in large form. Just be careful when you're dragging into the corner not to put it all the way out, because TikTok might think you're trying to delete the text, but it should be mostly out of frame. This is a good way for the algorithm to pick up on the keywords in your video without actually cluttering the screen. Okay, now that that's done, you can go ahead and click the next button. Now you want to add the keywords also in the description. So now you want to add even more keywords if you can. So now I might say 10 fiction book recommendations. Fiction is a different word than I used in the title, which was fantasy, for the new year from a Tolkien lover. So now you have other keywords in here, like you have fiction, you have the new year, and you also have Tolkien. So if anyone's looking up for Lord of the Rings books or something like that, your video is more likely to pop up. You also should add some hashtags, so maybe book rec, fantasy, maybe fantasy book talk. And yeah, you can just add a few trending hashtags there that have good amount of views, but also help narrow down your niche. So then you can go ahead and post your video. Once you've posted, you're not done yet. Go to your video and then go to the comment section and comment on your own video using even more keywords. So here you could use some keywords that maybe are lower on the list. So you could say something like, here are books that are related to Lord of the Rings, but are easier reads. So there are some other keywords in there like Lord of the Rings and also easy reads that people might be looking for if they're not looking to dive into a fantasy book that's 1,000 pages long. Don't go overboard here. You don't want to make a bunch of nonsense in the comment section, but just do something that might add a little more context to the video. So those are my TikTok search engine optimization tips. I hope these are helpful to you. I really think these can help you get more views if you use them tactically and set yourself a really good TikTok SEO strategy. I hope this was helpful. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to join an online community of modern creators and to keep up with other tips and tricks. And I'll see you guys in the next one.